There once lived a girl named Pauline White. She was very beautiful, and everyone loved her. Pauline's father was dead, and she lived with her mother and her 4 older brothers. She worked hard in the house. She fetched the water, cooked the food, and cleaned the garden. One day, Pauline's mother said to her oldest son, "You are a man now. You must find a wife and marry her." "I don't want a wife," the oldest son said. "My sister Pauline looks after me." The next day, Pauline's mother said, "Please, my son, don't wait any longer. Go out and look for a wife." "Where can I find a wife?" her son replied. "My sister Pauline is the most beautiful girl in the world. Where can I find a girl like her?" A week later, his mother said to him, "Have you looked for a wife yet? Have you found a girl?" "I have looked for a wife," her son answered, "but I have not found one. I love my sister Pauline, and I want to marry her. Then she will stay at home with us forever." His mother was angry. "You can't marry Pauline," she said. "She is your sister. How can a man marry his own sister?" Her son was angry too. "Mother," he said, "I will never marry another woman. I want my sister, and I will have her." He spoke to his mother every day. At first she was angry, but then she began to listen to him. At last she said, "Yes, my son, you can marry Pauline. I will help you." The oldest son was very happy. The second and third sons were happy too. "Pauline will stay at home with us now," they thought. "We will never lose her." That evening, Pauline went to the river to fetch water. Her mother and her brothers stayed in the house. Pauline filled her pot with water and walked home. She went to the door of the hut. She wanted to go inside, but her oldest brother put his leg across the door. "Brother," she said, "please put your leg down. I want to come in." Her oldest brother smiled at her. "I am not your brother," he said. "I am your husband." And he put down his leg. Pauline tried to go in again, but her second brother held his leg across the door. "Please, brother," she said, "let me come in." "I'm not your brother," her second brother said. "I am your brother-in-law." And he put down his leg. Pauline waited. Her third brother's leg was across the door now. "What are you doing?" she said. "Please, brother, put your leg down. Let me come in." "I am not your brother," the third brother said. "I am your brother-in-law." And he put down his leg. Now Pauline's mother sat beside the door. She put her leg up. Pauline couldn't go inside. "Mother," she said, "please let me come in. Please put your leg down." "I am not your mother," her mother answered. "I'm your mother-in-law." And she put down her leg. Pauline's fourth brother sat beside the door now. He was disabled. His legs were weak, and he couldn't walk. He lifted one leg with his hands. "Brother," Pauline said, "why are you doing this to me? Please, let me come in." Her fourth brother put down his leg and said, "Yes, dear sister, you can come in." The next evening, Pauline went to the river again. When she came home, her family was together in the hut. Again, they lifted their legs against her. Again, her fourth brother let her come in. They did this every day, week after week. One day, Pauline's fourth brother said to her, "Dear Pauline, I want to go to the toilet. Please carry me outside." So Pauline picked up her brother and carried him out to the fields. She stopped beside a field of wheat. "Don't stop here," her brother said. "I can't use this place. The wheat will become dirty." So Pauline carried him on. They then went to a field of rice. "Put me down here," her brother said, "and sit beside me. Listen, I don't need to go to the toilet. I brought you here because I want to speak to you. Our mother and brothers have a plan for you. Tomorrow, they are going to give you to our oldest brother. They want you to marry him." Pauline was very unhappy. "What?" she cried. "My brother wants to marry me, but I can't marry my own brother. It's a wicked thing to do." "I agree," her youngest brother said, "but they will try to force you. My dear sister, you must run away. Go now." "But where can I go?" Pauline said. There were tears in her eyes now. "Who will help me?" "God will help you," her brother said. "Be strong. Go." So Pauline ran away. She ran and ran over the fields, up the mountains, and down into the valleys. At last, she came to a big river. "I can't cross this river," she thought. "It's too deep. I must stay here." There was a big tree near the river. "I'll climb the tree," Pauline thought. "I will be safe there from the wild animals." So Pauline began to live in the tree. She collected fruits and leaves for her food, and she drank the water of the river. Now a rich man lived not far away. Every day his servant girl came down to the river to fetch water. One day the girl walked under Pauline's tree to the edge of the river. She put her pot down and began to fill it. Pauline was sitting on the tree above the girl's head. When the girl filled her pot, she looked down at the water and saw Pauline's face. "That's my face," the girl thought. "Oh, how beautiful I am." She looked at the face in the water again and again. "That is not the face of a servant girl," she thought. "It's the face of a princess. I'm not going to be a servant anymore. I'm going to find a rich man to marry me." She dropped her pot on the ground, and it broke. "It doesn't matter," the girl said. "It was just an old water pot. I don't need it now. I'm beautiful. I'm going to be a princess." She ran back to the rich man's house, but before she reached it, she began to think. "I broke my master's pot," she thought, "and he is waiting for his bath. He will be angry with me. I must take another pot and go to the river again." So the servant girl got another pot and went back to the river, but again she saw Pauline's face in the water. "It's true," she said. "I am the most beautiful girl in the world." She dropped the second pot, and it broke too. Then Pauline spat on the girl from the tree. The girl looked up and saw her. "Oh," she said, "I am not beautiful at all. The face in the water was not mine. It belongs to the girl in the tree. I will tell my master. I broke 2 of his pots, but when he sees this girl, he will not be angry with me." So the servant girl ran home to her master. "Master," she said, "I saw a girl in a tree by the river today. She is very beautiful. She is the most beautiful girl in the world. I was so surprised that I broke your water pots." "Don't worry about the water pots," the rich man said. "Where is this girl? I want to see her." "Come to the river with me," the girl said. "I will show you." So the rich man followed the girl to the river. He stood under the tree and looked up. He saw Pauline. "My servant was right," he thought. "This is the most beautiful girl in the world, and I want to marry her." "Beautiful girl," he said, "why are you hiding in the tree? Did you do something wrong? Is your family trying to punish you?" Pauline didn't answer. She said nothing. The rich man turned to his servant and said, "Go back to my house and bring me my spear and 2 carpets." The girl ran home and quickly came back with the carpets and the spear. The rich man put the spear in the ground. The sharp point of it was below Pauline. He put 1 carpet on one side of the spear and the other carpet on the other side. Then he spoke to Pauline. "Jump down from the tree," he said. "Perhaps you are a bad girl. Perhaps you did something wrong, and your family is angry with you. Is that why you ran away? Is that why you are hiding up in the tree? If that is the reason, you will fall on the spear. But perhaps you are a good girl. Perhaps someone tried to hurt you, and you ran away to save your life. Is that why you are hiding in the tree? If that is the reason, you will fall on the carpet." So Pauline jumped down from the tree. She fell on the carpet, and the rich man picked her up. "Marry me," he said. So Pauline married him. Now a new life began for Pauline. She was the wife of a rich man. She lived in a big house and had many servants. She forgot about her mother and her brothers. She was happy. But Pauline's 4th brother did not forget his sister. He left his mother's house and began to travel everywhere looking for Pauline. It was very hard for Pauline's brother. He could not use his legs, only his arms. He needed other people to help him. One day, he came to the rich man's house and sat outside under a tree. Pauline's servants saw him and ran to Pauline. "There is a man outside your house, under the tree," they said. "His face looks like yours. His eyes, nose, mouth, and hair are all like yours. Is he a relative? Is he from your family?" "I have no relatives," Pauline said. "I have only one brother, and he is disabled. Go and look at the man again. If he is disabled and cannot walk, come and tell me." The servants rushed to the tree again. Soon they came back to Pauline. "He looks like you," they all said. "His hair, his eyes, his teeth." "But is he disabled?" Pauline asked. "Can he walk?" Her servants looked at each other. "We don't know," they said at last. "He was sitting on the ground. We didn't see his legs." "I will see him myself," Pauline said. Her servants laid carpets on the ground for her, and Pauline walked outside. She went to the tree and saw her brother. She was very happy. She ran to him and kissed him. "Oh, my dear, dear brother," she said, "come into the house. You are tired and hungry. You must rest, and I will make a delicious meal for you." She took her brother inside. She washed his feet and gave him chicken to eat and milk to drink. Her brother finished his meal at last. "Now," said Pauline, "you must listen to me. My husband is not here tonight, but he will come home tomorrow. He is a good man, but he likes to trick people. Ask if you can help him. He will say something strange. Perhaps he will say, 'Kill my cow.' Don't do it. Take care of the cow for him. Or perhaps he will say, 'Take my cow to the desert. Don't let them drink water. Then you must take them to the river and let them eat and drink.' Listen carefully to his words and do the opposite." The next day, Pauline's husband came home. "My brother is here," Pauline said. "He wants to help you." "Ah," said her husband, "that is good. He can take the cow up to the mountain and push them over the cliff." Pauline's brother smiled at her. "Good," he said. "I will do that." The next morning, he went out with the rich man's herdsmen. He took the cow to the valley where they ate the good green grass. That evening, the rich man was happy with his brother-in-law. He went to his box and took out some hairs from a sheep, a cow, a goat, a horse, and a chicken. He put them in a sack and gave them to Pauline's brother. He also gave him a stick. "Go home," he said. "Take this sack with you. When you reach your house, beat the sack with the stick." "Goodbye, dear brother. May God be with you," Pauline said. So Pauline's brother went home. When he arrived, he stood outside the hut. He took out the sack and beat it with the stick. At once, hundreds of sheep, goats, cows, chickens, and horses ran out of it. He looked at them and laughed. He was very happy. "I am a rich man now," he thought. "Thank you, dear brother-in-law." His brothers heard the noise of all the animals and came out of their hut. "What happened to you?" they asked the fourth brother. "Where did you go? And where did you get all these animals?" "I went to find our sister," the fourth brother said. "She has married a rich man. He gave all these animals to me." The oldest brother was not happy. "My youngest brother is rich, and I am poor," he thought. "I will go to my brother-in-law. He will give me sheep, chickens, goats, cows, and horses, and I will be rich too." So the eldest brother went off to find Pauline. At last, he came to her house and sat down under the tree. He called to her servants. "Find your mistress," he said to them. "Say to her, 'Your brother is here.'" The servants went to Pauline. "Another of your brothers is here," they said to her. "He is sitting outside the house under a tree." "Another brother?" Pauline said angrily. "I don't have another brother. I only have one." But she went out to the tree. Her oldest brother jumped up. "Dear Pauline," he cried, "my lovely sister." Pauline did not smile at him. She didn't kiss her brother. She didn't talk to him. That night, Pauline's husband came home. Pauline's brother was very polite to him. "Please," he said, "let me help you. Let me take your cattle out tomorrow." "Very well," said his brother-in-law. "Take them to the desert and kill them all." Pauline's brother was surprised. He looked at Pauline, but she didn't look at him. She didn't speak to him. The next day, Pauline's brother took his brother-in-law's cows to the desert and killed them all. That evening, he said to his brother-in-law, "I obeyed you, brother. I took your cows to the desert, and they are all dead. Where is my reward?" His brother-in-law went to his box. He took out some hairs from a lion, a leopard, an elephant, and a buffalo. He put them in a sack and gave them to Pauline's brother. He gave him a stick, too. "Go home," he said. "Take this sack with you. When you reach your house, beat it with the stick." "Thank you," said Pauline's brother. He was happy. "I will be a rich man soon," he thought. He hurried home. When he arrived, he stood outside the hut, took out the sack, and beat it with the stick. At once, hundreds of lions, leopards, elephants, and buffaloes ran out of the sack. They turned on Pauline's brother and ate him. Then they ran away. Pauline and her husband lived happily for many years and had many fine children. Pauline's fourth brother was rich and happy too for the rest of his long life.